And if you like the video or any other content on the channel, feel free to subscribe. We're getting closer and closer to 500, so subscribe if you like the content. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by.
This is going to be our map and battlefield today. We are going to do the first mission from the RTT that me and NecronMike are going to this weekend. It is going to be Dawn of War with Purge the Foe and Chilling Reign. It's going to be my RTT Talons of the Emperor Custodes list versus Mike's Hypercrypt Necron list. Let's go on to the list and then on to the battle. This is going to be my list today. It's 2,000 points, the Talons of the Emperor detachment, and this is my final RTT list. We have Draxus with 5 Custodian Guard with Vexilla, a Shield Captain with the Aegis Protector enhancement with 5 Wardens. We have a Blade Champion with the Gift of Terran Artifice just for +1 to wound and melee with 5 Wardens. 4 Prosecutors, Big Boy Canis Rex, and then we have 2 Caladius tanks. That is my list, 2,000 points.
Today we are playing the Necrons again. This is going to be my RTT list. So we are running 5 Death Marks. It's great to have something that can actually do the deep strike so we can dump in the 3 and that sort of thing. It's always good. We are going with 10 Immortals with a Plasmancer. Tesla Overkill is good. We are running a group of 6 Locust Destroyers with a Lord. Getting that sweet, sweet crit on 5 is always good. We have a group of 3 Scarabs. They're just there for objectives, screening, blowing things up, whatever comes. 3 Singleton Locust Heavies. I really like having the Singletons in this detachment because there's always things to do. Going with the 6 Wraiths with the Technomancer for the 5-up Feel No Pain. They're tanky. They hold on to stuff. Love them. And we are running 3 Catan because why not? Catan are good. A Singleton Locust Destroyer. He's basically just going to be standing on our home objective. And yeah, that's our team for today.
Let's go through the deployment. Mike put his Immortals and his Nightbringer plus a Heavy Destroyer down in this corner here. He has his Wraiths and his Scarabs plus, I do believe, some more Locust Destroyers and Heavy Destroyers in there. He got his big blob of Locust Destroyers with his Locust Lord. 2 more Transcendent Fun Catan there, and a Heavy Destroyer in this corner. So he's along the lines here, good to go behind cover, ready to pounce onto some objectives. And my Custodes. First time playing tonight, so I'm not sure if I should probably have him back here or not, but I didn't want him to be blasted turn 1, just because I do have some plans for him. Draxus behind the cover here. I put my Shield Captain and the Prosecutors and the tank kind of behind the line here, behind my home objective. And just a lone tank over here. He might be bait. We're not sure what we're going to do with him yet. So that is the deployment. We're going to go on to first turn roll and see what happens. Let's see. A 5. 4. Custodes go first. I'm not sure how to deal with that, but let's see how it goes. So I get turn 1. Draw. I'm going to get capture enemy outpost. Well, that ain't happening with the pile of wraiths on there. And storm hostile objective. Luckily, can't get that turn 1 because I wouldn't be getting that. And Cleanse. Alright, so those aren't the best. My secondaries are never really the best. I could have went with, maybe a fix against Mike's army, because he does have a lot of characters, but I like the cards. So we do have Capture Enemy Post and Cleanse. So I'm up to 1 CP, Mike's up to 1 CP, on to my movement. For my movement, not too much. I brought the Knight out so I could get some shots onto his heavy destroyers. I advanced his tank from over here in the open over to here behind this cover. And I did move this other tank out, this other Glaze tank. I moved it out so I can get some shots onto his destroyer. And I just advanced with a 5. My shield captain, so getting up to 11 inches, moved on to this objective. They do have assault, so I'm going to cleanse this objective. So that is my movement. Not too much movement. My shooting is just going to be the tank and the Knight into these heavy destroyers. The Knight, I wasn't able to kill the destroyer. Luckily for Mike, he did roll some saves, and I rolled a pretty poopy on my wounds. So he did survive because he wasn't within range of the high intensity blast. He's still alive, not the best. I did destroy this other destroyer over here. So I do get Cleanse for 3 points, and I did destroy a unit for Purge the Foe, so I'm up to 7 points to 0, going on to Necron, turn 1. For Mike's Hypercrypt, he's going to pick up the Immortals, his Locust Destroyers, and the Transcendent Catan. He already had the Death Marks in Deep Strike. I also had my Blade Champion with the Wardens in Deep Strike too. Let's see what Mike's turn 1 draw is. He gets Bring It Down, get a kill vehicle, secure No Man's Land, control 2 objectives in No Man's Land. For the Necron movement phase, he did just tuck his Locust Heavy Destroyer, which got healed back to full health behind this corner. He brought his race up here to kind of challenge this objective some next turn. Left these guys here to hold on to the objective. He did drop down his Locust Destroyers over here, and the Transcendent Catan did his advance move up here just to get some shots onto my poor tank, just to get Bring It Down. He is going to get 2 points for secure as well, since he has the Transcendent Catan on there. So we're going to go into the shooting phase now and see what he can do against my tank and the rest of my army. When he moved his Scarabs up here, I spent 0 CP for Taloned Pincer, and I moved up 6 inches just to get onto this objective more and hold it. For the shooting phase, Mike is going to start, I do believe, with the Locust Destroyers all into my poor tank. So we're going to do the hit roll, and we'll come back for the saves and let you know what happens. 5s are crits.
5 are crits, rerolling 1s.
Pew, pew, pew. Ooh, very tasty looking. Ooh. Oh,
nice.
All right, so Mike did do pretty good with all the crits, so he did get 10 wounds altogether, because he would be wounding on 6s if not. So only strength 5 against toughness 12, so the crits came out big. So let's see, I do need 3s. I'm in cover, 2 up save, and these are AP2. So I do take 2 damage each.
Yep.
8 damage, so I do have 6 wounds left on my tank. The Lord didn't do any more damage to the tank, but now we're going to shoot the Transcendent Catan into my tank. And this is why we play these RTT training games, is he only has 12 inches on the Transcendent Catan, so he won't be in range of the tank. Oof. And we did roll it out, just the damage, to see if the Transcendent Catan would have killed him, and he wouldn't have killed him, wouldn't even get any wounds. So that makes me feel a little better, and Mike feel better, because we are playing here. We could have rewound it, but that was a pretty big move, and I'll help him kind of remind himself that yes, this thing does have a 12-inch range. So at the end of the turn, Mike didn't do any more shooting. That was all the units he had to shoot. The tank surviving is kind of hurts him quite a bit. He does get 2 points for secure No Man's Land. Keep Bring It Down, bring him up to 2 points, but I also get 4 more points for Purge the Foe, since he wasn't able to destroy more than me. So I'm up to 11, and Mike is at 2. Going on to Custodes turn 2. I am going to draw my cards here for turn 2 Custodes. I get Aerial Denial. See if we can kill some scarabs possibly, and engage in all fronts. I don't like engaging all that fronts, but I'm going to hold on to that. I do go up to 4 CP. I control this objective and that objective, but Mike also controls 2, so I only get 4 points. So that should bring me up to 15 to 2 for the Custodes, going on to my movement phase. Custodes movement turn 2. I just brought this knight up just a little bit, not a lot, just because I don't have anything to shoot yet with him. I did deep strike the Wardens and the Blade Champion down onto this objective. Move the tank over here to hug this objective just a little bit. I want to try to get some shots down onto the Locust Destroyers, but I just couldn't get around the footprints. Tank, I did want to move him back behind the wall, but I know Mike. I've played him enough to know that he would overwatch me as soon as I moved him. So he's going to stay there. See if he can take his pound of flesh out on these destroyers before he is dead. I did move my Wardens and the Captain over to this objective. I need to get rid of those Scarabs to have Aerial Denial. I did need to pounce from my hidey hole. That is my movement, and I'm going to go on to the shooting phase. Okay, so my turn, I did off camera. It was super quick. I just shot the Caladius tank over here into these destroyers. I killed 3 of them, and then he popped his orb to bring 2 of them back. I did shoot at the race, did 1 damage, charged the Scarabs, killed them, took that objective for Aerial Denial. I am going to toss Engage, and that brings me up to 5 CP, and I will... Oh, so the score is 24 to 2, because I did kill the Scarabs, so I just gave myself 4 points for that. We'll see if I can get more at the end of the turn or not. So the points, 24 to 2, moving on to Mike's turn 2.
Hypercrypted Nightbringer and this guy.
All right, Nightbringer and that guy. So there's lots of things in reserve ready to come down at me in turn 2.
Bring it down.
Yes.
And we pick up
Storm. So you got to take objectives that I am on. 5 points for having an objective. So, or 4 points. So it does bring you up to 6. So the score is 6 to 24. Moving on to turn 2 movement. For the movement phase, Mike did drop the Void Dragon down here. He decided he might as well start working on my Knight some. Dropped Transcendent Catan here. He was going to shoot at them, but he moved his race so he could get some charges and just some shots. And when he moved the race, they were 9 inches away from the Wardens. So I moved the Wardens behind the wall for free with the Talon Pincer. Such a fantastic stratagem. And the Nightbringer dropped down with the 9 so he can charge my Wardens since they are close to the wall, because I did want to be still controlling that objective. And the Immortals came down. They're probably going to shoot my Wardens or my girls. I'm not sure. And these Destroyers. So he did res them 9 inches away from the tank. So he didn't want to move them. So I couldn't move my tank away. And then he dropped his Heavy Destroyer down on this objective. So that is the movement phase for the Necrons, turn 2. We're going to go into the shooting phase and see what happens. See if I can weather the storm. Locust Destroyers into my poor tank. So this time I'm probably going to spike the biscuit.
I can re-roll ones, thankfully.
Yes. Once again, the lethal clutch. If I fail 3, I am dead. So 10 saves here, looking for 3s. I fail a bunch of them. Do I blow up? No, I do not blow up. So my tank is destroyed. We're going to go into more shooting as we go across the board. So the shooting phase, not too bad over here. Mike did take out a tank, and he killed my Prosecutors, but over here was quite a bit of whiff. He wasn't able to do any damage to the Wardens or the Knight with a couple of saves I made. So we're going to move on. So due to the charges, because I do believe we're going to have some charges coming my way.
Long bomb with Nightbringer.
Nightbringer into my Wardens.
That is not a 9.
All right, the Wraiths are going to charge in. They needed 8 to make the charge.
Not the best.
4. You got a CP reroll any of these?
Nope.
Okay.
And the Void Dragon is going to attempt to charge the fellers in the building.
All right.
A 9.
8. Oh, good dice gods are not smiling on Mike today. He does get 5 points to bring it down. Doesn't get Storm.
Nope.
Are you going to hold on to Storm or toss that?
I'm going to toss it.
So for the points, Mike was able to get 4 points on, bring it down, and he did kill more units than I did this turn. So the points are actually 24 to 18 for the Custodes. Turn 3, what do I draw? Secure No Man's Land. That's not a bad one. I think I already have that done. And Investigate Signals. I dislike Investigate Signals. I have so much CP, I think I just went up to 7. I'm going to toss Investigate Signals and see if I can get something a little better. Bring it down. Gotta kill some Katanans. See, with me controlling the middle over here and my home objective with the tank, it does bring me up 8 more points. So I do believe the points are 32 to 18 going into the movement. For the movement for the Custodes, I did the same thing. I moved ahead here. I'm going to try to start attacking these Catan here now. The Blade Champion is Warden's up. I moved the Knight. I moved the Shield Captain and the Warden's a little back behind the wall. He won't be able to charge into me, but also we only have 3 OC on that objective now. So he'll probably steal that next turn. There's not too much I can do about that yet, but I want to lure him in so I can charge him. And then I just kind of move my tank up here to get some shots onto these Immortals, and I move I advance Draxus. I won't be able to use her psychic attack, but I will be able to shoot some other stuff. So that is my movement. I'm going to go into the shooting and see if I can press the advantage and see if I can kind of get ahead in points here. So even if I start losing units, I should still get the win. We are going to start with the Knight into the Void Dragon. So the Knight into the Void Dragon. I am going to use his strike profile, so 5 attacks, hitting on 2s, sustained 1 on 5s, strength 20, AP 3, damage 9. 2s, actually, full house, since it's a 5 and a 6, made Explodies, and strength 20.
Cool.
2s?
I presume so. Toughness 11. So 3s.
2, 1. I will re-roll one of these for free. Yeah. So it's 3, AP 3, damage 9, but you'll bring him down to 5.
I'm going to reroll one of those.
Okay. Dead.
Figures.
You're Phinops.
Yep, Phinops.
Phinops. And see what happens? Oh, he's alive with a fair amount of wounds left.
5 wounds.
I am going to use the Emperor's Executioners. I am using that on the Wardens to see if I can kill this Void Dragon, because I need to take this out before it does damage back to my Knight. Was able to kill the Void Dragon with the Wardens by 1 wound. Mike needed to save 2 of his Field of Pains. He had 7 to make. He failed them all except for 1. So that does kill the Void Dragon. I do get 2 points for secured man's land. I do get, I think, 4 points for the Void Dragon, 42 to 18 for the Custodes. We're going to move into Mike's turn 3, so what he gets, but it's looking dire for the Necrons. At the end of my turn, Mike is going to pick up these Locust Light Destroyers, and let's see what he draws. He draws Capture Enemy Outpost. You could possibly drop some stuff on there.
Possible.
And Cleanse. He does get 4 points for this objective and this objective. It's going to bring him up to 22 points to my 42, moving on to his movement phase. Mike moved up here, moved his race ahead. I did use Talon Pincer to move back, so I still have the objective. Still, the Nightbringer, I should have moved a little further back, but I still think I should be pretty good. I might lose the middle, but we'll see. We have lots of firepower to come back in. Mike did move over here to get some shots onto my tank and drop death marks down here just to get onto that objective for capturing any outposts. Go on to the shooting phase and see what Mike can do to see if he can kind of get back in this game. Okay, turn 3 shooting for the Necrons is going to start off with the Locust Destroyers into my tank. So, all these shots, we'll do the hits, and then we'll show you the saves. Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pews.
Not bad again, my friend.
Not bad.
Okay, and once again, Mike's the crits have been clutch for him. So we have 12 got through onto my tank, so I do need 3s to save. Let's see what happens. A little better than last time. I do take 6 wounds. And then we have the Lord shooting at me next, and we'll see what happens with that. He wasn't able to shoot the race since he advanced onto this objective. The Transcendent Catan did shoot at my Wardens. I did take a wound, but the fact that I have the Aegis Protector on the Captain, it just zeroed it out. So the Wardens are still at full. 6 wounds on my tank, so the tank is down to 8. And I did take 2 wounds from the Death Marks onto Draxus, so she's down to 2 wounds. But we are going to go on to the charge phase now. I do believe Mike just wants to charge the Funbringer, the Nightbringer of Fun, into my Wardens. If he had killed this Warden right here, if he had killed one, I would have removed him, and it would have been stopped him. His own men would have been, his own race would have blocked him from charging, but didn't work. So, chargey charge. You probably need not a 2.
No.
An 8, so that makes it in.
Blah, 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 blah.
I will, of course, use the 4-up Feel No Pain to see if I could kind of keep myself from getting smashed in. I do believe that is it. We're going to go on to the melee. Popped my 4-up Feel No Pain just to make these, see if I can get these fellas to survive. We're going to see what happens against all these smashes. Not bad so far.
Hit you all the times. 2s go to 3s. Dick.
Rowdy.
2 hits and 1 Debbie.
Okay.
-4, so when you're in Bone.
Yep. And I might as well CP reroll that, bring me down to 1. Don't save it. So, how much damage does he do?
D6 plus 2.
4 Feel No Pain.
Feel No Pains, yeah.
Oh,
so
disgusting. D6 plus what?
2.
That's 3. Down to 1 wound, so the other one will kill a Warden. Alright, so Mike did manage to smash in one of my Warden's heads, even before Feel No Pain. And I was able to do 5 wounds back to the Nightbringer. So, he does. I don't know if it takes the objective or not. We'll figure the points out. But I do lose a Warden, and then he's putting some Catan pressure onto the middle of the board. I don't know if I can take those out or not. But let's figure out what the points are. Okay, here. So Mike was able to capture my enemy outpost for 8. And he does get 3 points for cleanse because he cleansed with the race. The score for the end of turn 3 Necrons is 46 to 29 for the Custodes. We're going to move into turn 4 and see if I can put this baby to bed. Turn 4 Custodes draw, I get a tempting target and storm hostile objective. Which of these ones in the middle would you like to make tempting?
Let's go with this one.
Okay, that's the tempting one. Alright, and I do get 4 points for controlling the one in the middle. It's the only one I control. Let's see if I can get some points here and see what happens in my movement. So I did my movement here, and it really depends on how this turn goes to see if I can kind of get ahead so far that Mike won't be able to catch up in turn 5. But like this was the one we want to do just because this is one of the missions. You want to kind of figure out what our game plan was for it. So I'm going to move on to my shooting and see if I can take some stuff out. I do need to see if I can take out those Locust Heavy Destroyers because right now those are my biggest threat. Yes, he still has the Nightbringer and the Transcendent, but these things can pick up a bunch of units. I fell back with these fellas because I do plan on using Hunt as 1 so I can fall back and charge into this tempting target unit over here. See if I can shoot some stuff to death, move on to the shooting. My shooting wasn't the best. The Knight bounced off the Wraiths. The tank was able to kill 2 of the Locust Destroyers, able to kill these Death Marks that were on my home objective. So now we just need to charge into these Locust Destroyers. And let's see if we make it. So I probably need a pretty big charge. 7. So 7 inches does get me into this combat. I haven't used the captain's free ability yet, so I'm going to use the Emperor's Executioners on his Warden's unit to see if we can pick up these Locust Destroyers. Okay, so for the end of the Custodes turn, I was able to wipe these units, except for the Locust Lord. He is still there, but I was able to pile onto this, or consolidate onto the objective, so I did control that for tempting target, and I did get Storm hostile objective. So that is going to bring me up to 60 to 29 for the Custodes, and we're going to go into Necron's turn 4. I don't know what he's going to pick up, and he's going to pick some stuff up, we'll figure it out, but we're going to go through the points here and kind of see what happens here. Alright, Mike, he picked up these 2 units here, the Destroyer and the Catan, tempting target, and defend a stronghold. Well, buddy, I think I'll take this one way over here, can be the tempting target.
Yep.
For stronghold, he does get 4 points for this objective, and he also controls this objective too. So it does bring him up 4 points, so he's up to 33 to 60. Okay, so for Mike's movement, he did move the race a little further onto his objective so he can fully cover that. Nightbringer moved towards my Wardens. I did pop the Talon Pincer just to move them 6 inches away, just to get us some of the shot lines, hopefully. It did leave one of them out there, so I don't know if that was quite the right move. And the Transcendent Catan dropped over here just so I get a 9-inch charge. Mike's trying to flood these Wardens to see if he can kill them and just grab that objective for himself. So we're going to move on to the shooting and see what Mike can do in his shooting phase. Since I did move there, he did forego his shooting to shoot into them, because if he killed them, I would for sure take this guy away, making his Nightbringer charge a lot harder. So now he's got his big charges into my poor Wardens.
I'm going to shoot your Knight.
Oh, he's going to shoot my Knight?
He's going to take it. Oh, 6.
I'll use his 1 spur. Oh, he took 6 damage.
Transcendent Catan charge. Nope, that's not a 9. And this guy, I think he needs a 7.
Probably even less than that. Probably 6. You should make it with an 8, though. Okay. Nightbringer has made it into combat. Ooh. So for turn 4 for the Necrons, he was able to kill 2 of my Wardens with the Nightbringer. He was able to do 6 damage with his Locust Heavy Destroyer onto my Knight. And then I do believe that is the turn. He wasn't able to get Tempting Target, but he will probably get Defense Stronghold unless I can get a charge down into there. If you're wondering somehow if the points don't quite equal up as the secondaries, it's because we were putting the Purge, the foe in there. We might not have set it as we were getting it. But I did get an extra 4 points on the end of turn 4 for Purge more. So 64 to 29. Moving on to turn 5, we're going to smash through it and just see what the end points are. And for turn 5, I had drawn Extend Battle Lines and Behind Any Lines. Going pretty good. We kind of was doing it quick. I did need a 10-inch charge to make the Knight into Mike's home field objective. And looky there, guys. And 11. So the Knight brings it in. Going to pace this guy. So we'll come back and show you the points. Turn 5 for the Necrons. He did charge everything in here, shooting into here. He was able to kill 2 of the Wardens. And I rolled really hot on my invulns here and save them. So that is the game. Final score is 89 to 47 with paint for the Custodes. For this one, we kind of knew that this was going to be hard for Mike. This was going to be a hard one because I have such tough units in his Purge the foe. Destroy 1 or more than the opponent. So as long as you destroy 1 unit, you get 4 points. If you destroy more, you get 8. So it's really hard to be able to take out multiple Custodes units per turn. And all I really need to do is kill 1 of Mike's units and just kind of use all my damage mitigation just to stay alive so I could just keep on racking those kill more points up. So that was kind of hurtful for him and good for me. And we want to know this one because this is first game of the tournament, the RTT. So hopefully Mike doesn't draw me because it's a pretty bad matchup for him. I think this is kind of a bad matchup for a lot of people. But I do believe the other missions coming up, because there's 3 missions, I do believe those will favor Mike's army a lot more. They're Hammer and Anvil. And I do believe Search and Destroy, so there's a lot more room for him to bounce around. Because this one, I can kind of turn my stuff around. It's a lot more narrow, so anytime he drops something down, I can actually turn stuff around easier to get them. So that's game. Pretty good game, fun game. We're going to be going to the RTT this Saturday. Monday, we'll have a results video just to tell about the tournament and how it went. So once again, points for 89 to 47. Thanks, Mike, for coming on. It's always a blast. I think next time we're going to use some Tau against him. He's been playing against the Custodes forever now. We'll give him a break. And like I always say, thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by.